Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be the first of what I hope is going to be a regular series on my channel where twice a month I'm going to talk about different keto tips and tricks and just informational videos, but from my perspective. So things that I have experienced as a person on low carb and keto that I wish I had known when I first started, or just wish that those things had been out there that I can find from somebody's own perspective. As always with these types of videos, I have notes in front of me, so if you see me kind of glance down over there, that's what I'm doing, is looking at my notes. Otherwise, I tend to ramble and tend to get off topic, and we don't want to do that, do we? Because these are informative videos. They're meant to be informative and short and sweet and to the point. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the dreaded keto flu and the importance of electrolytes. There are several causes of keto flu, but the primary one is electrolyte imbalance. So that's why I'm going to focus on that today. First, an overview of what the keto flu is. So in general, it is flu-like symptoms that some people get when transitioning to a keto or low carb diet lifestyle. It doesn't happen to everyone, but when it does, it's not pleasant, and it's the reason why some people will just stop, won't even continue on, or why some people don't even start in the first place, because it scares the heck out of them. I will tell you that when I first started keto, that because I slowly transitioned into it, I did not have any keto flu symptoms. However, when I have stopped for a few days or just got off track for a couple weeks or for a month, when I was not continually to stay on plan, I did have those symptoms. So I have experienced keto flu, and it is not fun. It reminds me a lot of some of the symptoms that I get actually when my thyroid is off and I need to adjust my medication. So these are symptoms I've had before, but you know, so it's not pleasant at all. But sugar withdrawal and dehydration are other causes of keto flu. So staying hydrated, of course, is very important when living a keto lifestyle. But as I said before, electrolyte imbalance is normally the primary cause of the keto flu. There are ways, though, that you can recognize which deficiencies you may have. The first one we're going to talk about is magnesium. Now, there are many symptoms of magnesium deficiency, probably more than what I'm going to tell you, but these are the ones that I have myself personally experienced. Fatigue, definitely. Irritability and restlessness, yes. Brain fog is probably the first one that I always get. So that's just lack of concentration. You just kind of feel like you can't remember what you're doing or where you're at. Insomnia, yes, that is probably the biggest one that I get besides the brain fog. So brain fog and insomnia pretty much go hand in hand for me. Stomach issues, so constipation, bloating, and pain. The constipation is what I have gotten. Muscle cramps or muscle weakness. I've gotten the muscle cramps, but I know a lot of people who kind of got muscle weakness from magnesium when their electrolytes were off. For me, it's muscle cramps. I get them in my legs sometimes. And then just lack of motivation, like you just don't want to do anything. I've definitely have that too. So how can you help stop these symptoms from happening? Well, there's different sources of magnesium. One of them being dark leafy greens. So kale, spinach, Swiss chard, which I recently discovered Swiss chard, which is so good. So adding those dark leafy greens to your diet. Don't be afraid of vegetables. Well, I shall be talking about that in a later video. Nuts, seeds, hemp seeds, which I love to put hemp seeds in salads and smoothies. It's good on avocado toast. Seaweed is something I don't like, but I put it in here only because I know it's a really high source of magnesium, and there are people who really like it. I have tried a few times, do not like it. Chia seeds, I love chia seeds. I make chia seed pudding, throw them in my smoothies. Again, sprinkle them just in your salads. Avocado, you guys know my love for avocado. Dark chocolate, and they say to have it between 80 to 85% dark chocolate, which usually that's what I have, is about 85% is usually the ones that I choose. And then there's magnesium supplements. So I've taken both pill and powder form. I'll tell you the powder form is my choice. And I'll put a picture up here. It's called Calm, and it is a magnesium supplement. I also I've used that one, but I also recently found one at Walmart. It's actually their vitamin brand. I think it's like Nature or something. I'll put a picture of it up here too. But you just mix it with a little bit of water, and it has magnesium in it, and I do it before I go to bed, and it helps me sleep. So it helps that insomnia, helps you relieve any kind of stress you've had. It also helps with the constipation. So it helps with so many things. So the amount of magnesium you actually need in a day, especially when you are on a low carb or keto diet, is 300 to 600 milligrams per day. So that's why you want to try to add in all those things into your diet on a regular basis. The next one we're going to talk about is sodium. So some of them are going to be the same as magnesium. You have that lack of motivation, the brain fog, the fatigue, but also you're going to have some irritability. I think that was also on the magnesium one. You may also have some nausea, some dizziness, and headaches. So the headaches are typically from lack of sodium. So a lot of people, when they're on keto or low carb, they complain of headaches. Well, a lot of times it's your lack of sodium. So if you get any really bad headaches, that could be what it is. Now, the sources of sodium is a little bit more obvious than some of these other ones. So of course, add salt to your food. I was not a salt to my food adder. I don't know. I did not add salt to my food at all prior to doing low carb and keto. I didn't really enjoy the taste of salt, to be honest. It wasn't like I was afraid to use it, but also you do get in your mindset, if you use too much salt, you retain water, but you really just need to drink water, and that gets rid of your water retention. So in my mind, it just wasn't, after I thought about it, I'm like, I should just salt my food. My preferred salt is the pink Himalayan salt. Pink Himalayan salt is actually, it's chemically similar to just regular table salt because it's like 90% sodium chloride, and then the rest of it is made up of potassium, magnesium, and calcium. So again, if you use pink salt, it's going to help you with the magnesium and the potassium as well. So that's the obvious way to get your sodium up, but you also could sip on bone broth if you like that, or you can buy those little bouillon cubes and put them in some hot water and just sip on that. I actually like that a little bit better than bone broth. I'm not a huge fan of bone broth, but they do have like sipping bone broth that's supposed to be a little bit more pleasing to drink. But I think just by adding salt to your food is going to help immensely. But your daily need of sodium is 4,000 to 7,000 milligrams per day. So that's what they say when you're on a low carb lifestyle. Last one we're going to talk about is potassium. You're going to see a lot of the same symptoms as you did with the other two, which again is why you see a lot of products have all three of these things into them. So we'll talk about more of those products here in a second. So some of the symptoms of potassium deficiency: dizziness, low blood pressure, which I had when I first started lowering my carbs. My blood pressure went down. So I did experience that, definitely. Fatigue, nausea, cramping, stomach issues, again, such as constipation, muscle weakness, depression. So I did notice that's really kind of goes into that lack of motivation and disinterest in like life and things that you're doing. I had that pretty heavily. And then heart palpitations, which I was getting that for a while, and I thought it had to do with my thyroid. So this was probably back early last year. I was having a lot of these things: the heart palpitations, the brain fog, a lot of the muscle cramping, a lot of the stomach issues, and those are all things that I get when my thyroid's off as well. So I made an appointment with my doctor, I think it was February or so, February, March, and I could have sworn that he was gonna have to adjust my medication. But my thyroid was perfect. It was actually better than it's been in years. He was very impressed. And so I was like, what the heck could this be? Well, then I started doing some research on electrolyte imbalance, and I found out that that's probably what it was. And so I did incorporate some things that I'll be talking about here in a little bit into my day, and that helped a lot. So what sources of potassium are there? Again, spinach, avocados, any other green leafy vegetables, Swiss chard again, and kale. We have broccoli, Brussels sprouts, almonds. I don't eat salmon, but I added in here again because I know a lot of people do eat salmon. So salmon is a really high source of potassium. Mushrooms, that's a really good one, which I have a love-hate relationship with mushrooms. I love raw mushrooms, but I hate cooked mushrooms. They look gorgeous in food, but I cannot get myself to like them, but I like them in my salad. So I need to buy those more also. I need to get into the habit of buying a lot more of those kind of things. And then meat has potassium in it. Your daily need of potassium is 3,000 to 4,700 milligrams per day. So real similar to the other two as well. When you're talking, well, magnesium, you don't need as much magnesium, but the potassium and sodium, you need quite a bit of those. There are things that you can do that will replenish all 3 of these. So there's supplements out there. One of them being pill form. So Perfect Keto has, and I have some of those. I will put a little clip here of the ones that I have. I have the Perfect Keto Electrolyte pills. So you can take a few of those a day and that will help with all your electrolytes. They also just recently came out with a powder form. I have not tried that yet. I'm actually just ordered some, so I'm waiting for it to come in, but it's a new product. They have 4 different flavors and it's in a powder form. You just mix with some water. It also has vitamin D in there, vitamin D is like a fuel for magnesium. It helps your body absorb the magnesium. So you should be taking your vitamin D every day also. Other things, Ultima powder supplement. I have some of those. They're not my favorite as far as any kind of powdered electrolyte supplements. I don't like the flavor of them very well, but they do the job. Zip Fizz. So these are expensive. You can get them at Costco. They go on sale quite often. They have excellent flavors. I love Zip Fizz. I absolutely love it. I just don't like to spend the money on it. But I do have some and I will show you them right here, but I think you can find them on Amazon. That's where I buy them. I buy the different flavors is on Amazon. So I will put links to all of these things that I mentioned down below, the Ultima, the Zip Fizz, and the Perfect Keto stuff, but also you can make your own. So in the form of Soleil water. Now, if you guys have watched me in the last year or so, you know that I used to drink this every single day. It's so easy to make. You just take a mason jar or any kind of jar and you fill it 1/4 of the way with pink salt. And again, you want the pink salt because it has the sodium, the magnesium, the potassium, and also calcium is in there as well. So that's why you want the pink salt. You put it in there, fill it up with water. And it's very important not to use any kind of metal for this. No metal cup, no metal lid. You want to put a plastic lid on there or just cover it with, like a paper towel or some plastic wrap or something if you don't have any plastic lids. And you just stir it up or shake it up. Hopefully you can shake it because that's when you really get in there, and just stick it on your counter, let it sit there. By the next morning, it turns clear. And then you just want to be easy with this because it can cause some stomach distress if you drink too much of it. That's why they say to either just do like 1 or 2 teaspoons in your water once a day when you're just starting to get used to it. But I honestly dove right in and I do a tablespoon in my first cup of water of the day and then get it done and over with for the day, and that's your electrolytes for most of the day. I mean, and then if you incorporate some of those other things throughout the day, you should have no issues with your electrolytes and having any of these keto flu symptoms. So it's a really cheap, easy way to do it without buying all those expensive products. It's just not flavored, but you can flavor it if you want with some water enhancer, and then you have basically Zip Fizz or those other things. What's nice about those other things though is that with the Perfect Keto one, it does have the vitamin D in there, plus it has the amounts of the potassium and magnesium and sodium that's in there is enough for your day. So there is a difference in buying those products in like the Soleil water, but if you have the Soleil water and have all those other things that I mentioned, all those other sources through your food, you should have no issue with keto flu at all. So if you're new here, I hope you'll please subscribe to my channel. Just hit that little subscribe button down there. Also, there is a bell. If you want to hit that, you'll be notified when I upload videos. YouTube's not very good about notifying, so it may or may not work. Who knows? But I also want you to leave a comment down below so we can all talk about the keto flu and about any kind of supplements that you may use, what has worked for you, what has not. So let's talk about it, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.